Hey guys, Kev here, and I'm going to do my full review on the Vero Engineering Isotope. So this is a knife I've had for a week or so. I had a black end cut carbon fiber and hand satin version, and that ended up having a few issues. It had nicks right up here in the spine of the blade, so you could run your nail like this and it would catch on them. You could see them fairly easily. Now, I didn't catch them right out of the unboxing or the disassembly. It was after, when I was kind of playing with the knife, taking a look at it, that I noticed those little nicks. So I can definitely see how it got through the QC process. I think Joseph inspects every knife. I'm not sure if Michelle helps with that, but I could easily see myself missing that. I did, right? So I'm not trying to throw any shade their direction for that. And then it had a little bit of lock stick, but the nicks itself was enough for me to reach out to Joseph. I kind of just said I didn't want to bother getting a replacement because I'd have to ship it off and get it back. I didn't say all that, but he basically responded and said, "Hey man, I'll just send you a new one and you can send yours back. That way, you know, you get it quickly." And I was like, okay, cool. And he only had the red end cut carbon fiber with the hand satin on hand, or I'd have to wait for another batch to come in. So I went with this, and I'm actually glad I did. This red end cut carbon fiber is actually really cool. I think it looks a lot nicer on this knife than the black end cut does, especially with that hand satin running the same direction. It just looks really good, and I've heard if you oil it up, it can look even better. So that's kind of where I'm at with the knife. I got it on pre-order. I paid $490 for this version. I think they started at $450 with stonewash and just micarta, I think was how that goes. Now, they ended up changing the micarta option to marbled carbon fiber, or you were able to swap to red or black end cut. But something happened with the micarta, it didn't fit or whatever, it didn't work. So that all happened behind the scenes for people who ordered on the pre-order. Real quickly, I just want to note that I will be selling this knife. It may already be sold, probably will be at the time you see this, and I will explain why. A lot of it is personal reasons, such as I'm left-handed, and it's basically more geared towards righties than a lot of other knives, even a lot of Vero's other knives. I've found Vero's to be very lefty-friendly, even though they have the righty-only V-slot on most of them except the Axon. I've still found them a joy to use left-handed, so it hasn't been an issue. But this one, it's a little bit different, and I can't really hold that against the knife. It's a knife design. You know, when you buy a knife, you should kind of know some things going in. It's pretty obvious that this was not going to be that lefty-friendly, but I really like Vero's, so I gave it a shot anyway. So keep all that in mind when you as we go through this review. I do have my coconut LaCroix here, best LaCroix in the game, and I think that's all the disclaimers and whatever I need to get into. Let's talk aesthetics. So I kind of already did. Red end cut carbon fiber, hand satin blade. I mean, look at that stunning hand satin. I mean, it is absolutely fantastic, guys. Bestex hand satins are phenomenal on these Veros. This is number 73. The only other markings on here are the Vero on the spine and the V/Vero on the clip. There's no steel marking or anything on this knife. Vero doesn't do that unless I just missed it. Yeah, it has a titanium. It's obviously an integral, so it's a titanium integral. One of the negatives to this knife for me is the stonewashing on the titanium. I've said before, and it's rather harsh, but it seems like it got dragged behind a bus. Like, when I say that, it's not to say it's got chunks out of it and stuff. It's just kind of my way of saying it's a very uneven stonewash, and it might be hard to see here. I've done other videos of this knife up close, and I did a comparison with the James brand Barnes. I did a disassembly of one of these, so you can see that more up close in those videos. But there's just spots where it looks like it wasn't evenly stonewashed. Like, I get that part of a stonewash is to hide wear, so it looks kind of worn. Some people might like that. And I think if you got the stonewashed blade with this handle, it would probably look a lot better as a package. But it's kind of odd to see this really nice hand satin, really clean end cut carbon fiber, and then this stonewash. And to be 100% honest, this specific one looks a lot better than the first one I had, the stonewashing. That one was even worse. So anyway, that's aesthetics. I think it looks fantastic closed. I think it looks fantastic open. I love the blade shape, love a clip point. I think the frame lock side looks fantastic. I think the spine looks fantastic. There is no denying that Joseph Vero has a knack for making beautiful knives, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I can sit and admire a Vero forever. It doesn't really matter which one. I just sit there and go, ooh, that's nice. It's just something about his design language and me personally. So there's that, right? Ergonomics on this are okay, but not great for me. This grip is okay. The more that I kind of use it and hold it like this, it feels good. There's a little bit of jimping up on the spine there. It's very light jimping if you've ever touched a Vero before, handled a Vero before. But just the way it's designed with this big swell, it just kind of like pinches my middle finger somewhere, no matter how I hold it. And then if I choke up, it's just a little awkward because this is such a deep swell. My fingers just kind of always get hit on this bump right here. Normally with Veros, I end up feeling very comfortable in most grips. Since we're talking about ergos, it doesn't affect me as a lefty, but they did upgrade the clip. This clip now has a plateau here instead of just being straight up. And for righties, no more hot spot. And I apologize, I'm breezing through a lot of this stuff because I'm regurgitating things I've said in multiple other videos, and I don't want to bore the people that watch every single video, and I appreciate those people very much. So yeah, that's ergos. Cutting. So I cut a little bit with the one I had before. This one, not so much. It's great, guys. I mean, it's a really nice blade shape, full flat grind, or I guess a flat grind. Comes down to a very thin edge, especially for a Vero. Some of my others, I would say, even my Synapse Gen 2, they're a little bit thick behind the edge. This is very thin. It looks like, maybe 15 thousandths, 17 tops behind the edge. Just looks really good. So I don't have a ton of experience cutting with it. What I did cut with the first one was fantastic. It went through things like butter, and I mean like it went through paper like butter, not like I cut through butter. Opened some packages, all of it was great. You have a good tip here. I like a clip point. I don't know, sometimes I like it a little better than a drop point, even though the tip tends to be a little higher. I guess it's just case by case. They're very similar if you think about it, but I just feel like you get more of a straight edge here on this than you would on like a drop point. Here's a bug out, for instance. Now it's a different It's a different length, obviously, but it just seems like you get more of a straight edge. That belly starts a little bit sooner on a drop point. You're already starting to curve right here, right? Sorry, right here. Whereas here it goes all the way out to like here and then starts to curve. Just something very, very, very minor I noticed, but I like a simple clip point. You could probably even call this a drop point if you wanted to, but I'm going to call it a clip point. So cutting's good. Carry, you know, this is where the rub comes in with Veros a lot of times. Other than the Synapse XL and Synapse Gen 2, the clip has always been an issue. And I don't want to sit here and harp on it more than I've already done and other people have already done. But all the other knives, it just does not have enough clearance. This part has never bothered me because I'm left-handed. So for righties, it's double, but they fixed that part. But look at the clearance. Like, there's absolutely no clearance. When you try to get it in your pocket, you have to go. Try to show you here on a hang. This isn't going to be a great, way of showing you. But what happens is you get enough room to get over the seam of your pants, right? That's not the issue. It's once you get in there, once you get it over, you can already tell here, like I'm struggling to get this in. Of course, it's not like a tight jeans, but all right, normally this is how my jeans end up. I get it to like here. And then I have to like really give it a shove to get it the rest of the way on. I mean, you can see how much of a struggle it was for me just to get this on a hank this thick. So, and then coming out, I didn't really find much of an issue, but you can see the resistance there, right? You can see the resistance. So it's just always been an issue. They need more clearance. And I don't really understand why Joseph hasn't changed that yet. I thought that was happening with this clip, but it hasn't. And I know other people have mentioned this, so I don't, again, want to harp on it too much, but it's just a little bit disappointing because I love Joseph. I love Vero Engineering. I love the knives. I want to love all of the knives that he makes, right? I root for the guy. But we've been asking for more clearance on clips. I mean, I wasn't involved or really into Veros when they first came out, but it has been an issue since the original Impulse came out. Because I had one. I got one, and it had this clip issue. And then I got a Mini Impulse, had this clip issue. Then I got an Axon, had this clip issue. Again, the Synapse XL, not so much. It was a little bit better. And the Synapse Gen 2 was better. So I don't know if it's something about the bolster locks. I don't know. But any of the ones with the titanium frame locks have just had this issue. And I just wish it had been addressed. I don't know if there's more to it than I can understand. But it seems extremely simple to just raise up the angle here a little bit. Just bend this up. I mean, I would try it myself, but I don't want to damage it. But I don't know. It just seems simple. So anyway, carry is basically non-existent. I can't carry this. I can't put it in my pocket. This day and age, we like to fidget with our knives. We like to take knives out and then flip them, have a little playtime with them or whatever. Oh, and then we got to our destination, or your wife walks in the room, or somebody tells you to stop flicking your knife, or whatever, right? Or you're done cutting, and then you just go, bink, okay, I'm done, back in the pocket. If I can't do that, and then 2 minutes later, I'm going to take it back out again, and I'm going to start playing with it again. Oh, my wife walked away. Oh, I got to make another stop, right? Oh, okay, back in the pocket. That time I actually shoved it in my pocket. Back in the pocket. And you can't do that with these knives. it's like once it's in there all day because you don't want to take it out. You don't want to deal with putting it back in. So, yeah. And I didn't really let it be an issue for me for a long time because this is going to sound weird, but COVID, right? It's pretty much like we're getting things back to normal. We're going places more again, right? And for a while there, when I had all the Veros, I was just at my home office. I was just working from home. I might run out for food. I might go out on the weekend or whatever to some family event. But I never did, like, I wasn't constantly putting knives in my pocket all day. And, like, I had a knife in my pocket, but, like, I would have my knife case right there and I would just fidget with knives, look at them, whatever. And that was awesome because the Veros are beautiful and everything, right? But when it comes to actually carrying one all day or whatever, it just doesn't go so well with these clips. So, rant over about that. I apologize for that. You know, Joseph, if you watch this, I love you, dude. I love your designs. I love your company. Your customer service is fantastic. I love basically everything about these knives, except for the clearance on the clip. And maybe, since I'm talking to you anyway, maybe switch to Riyadh. Never heard that before, right? But yeah, all right, so that's Carrie. Sorry about that, guys. Sounds. You know, integrals seem to be either really good sounds, like mechanically cool sounds like the Anthem, or they're really dull, like this, like the CKF Satori, blah, blah, blah. This is a dull sounding one. I'd give it like a 3 on the sound scale. So, not really the knife's fault, but it's a category, right? Action. So, flipper tab works fantastic. Without any blade play, I have this tuned with no blade play. It is very good, guys. Yeah, it doesn't just glide shut or guillotine shut, but it's extremely smooth and a little bit of effort, and it comes down. That is fantastic in my book. And in classic Vero fashion, you get the really satisfying drop to your nail like that. I love it. You can flick it right-handed. Pardon me, I am left-handed, so this is harder. But you can do the flick. The detent is not uber strong, but it's strong enough. So it's light enough to do the flick, and it's strong enough to do the flipper without failing it, right? Left-handed is where it falls a little short for me. One, you have this here, the V slot, so you can thumb flick it, but you got to give it a lot of gas. You can't just like, you know, and the way it's designed is to flick it. It's not designed to push it out like a thumb stud, and so you got to just, sometimes it just, yeah, you got to just give it gas. It's not that satisfying. If you're walking around, you have it down by your side, it comes out a lot easier. It's not bad. It's nice to have an option, right? But it's kind of a reminder that you don't have a middle finger flick. Then there's the flipper tab, and it's just not fantastic left-handed because of the lock bar. You have to avoid it at all costs, and to do that, you have to be like back here on this thin part, and then this starts coming out of my palm, and it could just be my hand size and everything. It's definitely doable. I don't want to sit here and act like it's not, but it's just not as satisfying as this, or even as any of the other Veros I've used. So that's a thing for lefties. One other thing for lefties, the closing. Because you don't get to just do this, it can be a little bit of an issue because the detent break is all the way down here. This is where it breaks the detent, and then you can shake it down. So if I do this, right, if I do this finger close, which you have to do left-handed, you end up here, and then you're stuck on the detent. So you got to just make sure that you get past, go to here, and then let it drop. And it's really good, guys. But that's just a minor little gripe. I wish the break point on the detent was a little bit sooner than this. I wish it was like here, you know? But overall, the action is really good on this knife, guys. I think if you like Vero engineering knives, if you like his flipper design, you're going to really like this. And the more I play with it right now, the more I'm enjoying it and the more it's breaking in. So those are all very good things, guys. Value. So this starts at $450. With this model right here, it's $490 with hand satin and end cut carbon fiber. I think that's a good price. Like, I don't think that's crazy. I did the comparison with the James brand Barnes. That's an integral M390 titanium. That is retailed for $600. This starts at $450 and topped out it's $490. I don't think that's ridiculous or anything. Now, it's Best Tech instead of Riot, but Best Tech is more expensive than Riot. As far as I know from talking to people who have used both companies, Best Tech actually charges more than Riot for the same amount of product and the same material. Again, as far as I understand, I think that might be because they outsource some stuff. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but so I think the price is fine, right? I don't think it's like the greatest price ever. I say this a lot. It's not a value, but it's not overpriced in any way. Secondary pricing on this knife is to be determined. I was trying to look today to see like what should I list it at if I sell it, whatever. And it's really hard to see. Usually Veros are like way overpriced really fast because everybody wants one and they can't get it, and they're charging double, and like $250 Axons were going for $500. Like, this was $490. I've seen ones on the Vero marketplace Facebook group, which check that out if you're looking for a Vero. They have a group now just for buy, sell, trade. I saw people listing this exact one for $600, but I didn't necessarily see it sold. And then there was a lot of ones that were sold. Not a lot. There's a few that were sold, and you can't see the price. And I hate that. I really wish that was a rule that you have to just put sold next to the price so we could gauge the market, right? That makes it easier for the next guy to just look up the item on Facebook in the group and see what people are paying and then charge that. It just makes life easier instead of like guessing, because you don't want to post it for $600 when people are selling them for $500 and then you look like a dick, right? But you're just trying to gauge the market, right? So it doesn't seem like the secondary is going to blow up on these isotopes. It seems like the Vero market is coming down. It's normalizing. Things are selling at maybe $50 more than retail. That's good in my opinion. That's what we needed. People were charging way too much for them, and that's because there weren't enough out there, and the hype was so high. And I think the hype train has really settled down a little bit, and the prices have done that as well. And he's brought more models or more product out into the marketplace, right? So yeah, that's that. Recommendations. I think if you're right-handed and you love Vero and you're into integrals, this is a good option for you. It's well made, action's great, all that good stuff. I'd be a little weary of the ergos for you personally. That's going to be subjective. I also want to note, I didn't really show this. It's a big knife, guys. Like, here's a bug out. I guess I did show the bug out, but like, it's a big knife. What else can I get that's rather large? Here's a J-Cape, 3.5-inch J-Cape. I mean, it's significantly bigger than the J-Cape. I don't think I have a knife. Shadow Ranger? I mean, this sucker is bigger than a Shadow Ranger. I mean, everybody has one of these by now. So let's see. Maybe it's the same size. Yeah. So guys, this is a Shadow Ranger sized knife. I hope that helps 1,000 of you out there that have one of these by now. The Shadow Ranger. Awesome. Got to use that as a size comparison knife. Never thought that would happen. So yeah, it's a big one, guys. And honestly, that's another reason I'm moving on from it. I'll tell you real quick the reasons, okay? It's big. It's a little bigger than I like. It's a little heavier than I like, which I get. Integral, it's not too heavy. It's just heavier than I personally like. Left-handed, it's just not great. The clip is the biggest reason. Not enough clearance. Not a huge fan of the stonewashing that was done on the handles, the scales, the frame. There you go. On the frame, I think that's it. Things I like. I love the look of that end cut carbon fiber. It's gorgeous. I love the hand satin finish on here. I love the look of this knife. That is one of the main things I really love about the knife is the aesthetics overall. I love the closing action. I love the flipping action. I wish I had a lefty slot because I would love that too. I love the company. I love the ingenuity coming out of Vero. I do kind of wish that he would kind of backtrack a little bit now and go back and fix the models he already has. He has like 5 or 6 models out now. And I wish he would kind of perfect those a little more, get the clip updated, come out with new runs of those, because people are clamoring for them. But instead, he's just coming out with another model. Like every month, there's a new model. Now it's the Mini Synapse and the Neuron. I'm sure there's more coming. Frame lock Axon. The list goes on. And I just wish, instead of doing a frame lock Axon, why not take the Axon and take the feedback and update that? And I guess he is doing that too, but I don't know, just more runs of the older stuff, updated a little bit, I think would be nice to kind of settle things out, get those up to date, instead of coming out with another run of a new knife that's going to have new knife issues. That's just how a knife is. The first run, you're going to find things out. So anyway, that's my rant there. Absolutely love the company. Didn't end up loving this specific knife, but I can definitely appreciate it. So this has been the Vero Engineering Isotope, guys. I appreciate you listening to me rant, rave, be a jackass, and so on. I love you all. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you later.